Okay, so this is one of the subjects that I will be handling this second semester of AY 2020-2021. The subject is banking and financial institutions. So basically in this subject, what we're going to cover are the Philippine financial system and then the banking institutions as well as the non-bank financial institutions. So as business students, what we want you to understand is how the Philippine financial system works, how it affects the different industries, the different businesses, and the economy as a whole. So it plays a role in the development and the growth of the different businesses by providing for their financial needs. So we have banks and non-bank financial institutions which offer services. Okay, mostly they provide services, of course, to ordinary citizens, but more importantly, they provide financial assistance or services. Tipong mga loans, business loans for we have the small, medium, and large businesses. Aside from the financial services that they provide, of course, they also offer mga business solutions that would also help in the operations of the businesses, yung tipong mga cash management, payroll services, and the like, okay? So later on, we will be discussing those in more details, depending on the topic or content already, okay? So for the content, I've checked Google. I researched a few syllabus content and I've decided on this one. So we have a total of 3 major parts for this, the Philippine financial system, banking institutions, and the non-bank financial institutions. And then they have subtopics, and one topic would be, one video, okay? And so let's go over the content. First part, Philippine financial system. So we have the overview of the Philippine financial system. We have the nature, elements, function, development, and the structure. And then second part, we will be discussing the Central Bank of the Philippines, now known as the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Okay, so we have the development, brief history, and then the objective and functions nila. Okay. Second part, we have the banking institutions. Basically, yung Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, they are monitoring and supervising all the banks and non-bank financial institutions in the country. So yung second part would be the banking institutions. Topic number 3, we have banks and banking perspective. So here we're going to discuss yung historical perspective worldwide, and then yung Philippine banking history, and then yung current situation. We also have the principles of the banking business, types of banks, economic significance of banks, and why the state supervises the banks. Okay, and then fourth, we have the government banking institutions, land bank, development bank, and then we have the Philippine Amana Bank, which is the first and only Islamic bank in the country. Topic number 5, we have commercial banks. Ordinary commercial bank, we'll be discussing the power, the organization and capitalization, and then the operations. For expanded commercial banks, we will also be discussing yung additional powers nila, organization and capitalization, scope of authority, equity investment underwriting, and dealership in securities, and then the financial intermediaries. Okay. And then number 6, we have thrift banks. So basically yung mauuna dito at the top, types of banks, overview lang, tapos later on we'll be discussing each type of banks. So we have commercial, we have thrift banks, the nature, kinds, capitalization, and operations. Rural banks, so we have organization, operations, functions, and services. Offshore banking, so we have classification, common characteristics, major objectives, and the roles that they have. Okay, and then yung last part, we have the non-bank financial institutions. Topic number 9, we have government non-bank financial institutions, the GSIS, SSS, Pag-ibig, and PhilHealth. So these are the mandatory regulatory agencies for the working population. Okay, and then we have pawn shops. We will be discussing the governing law, definition of terms, functions, and nature. 11, building and loan associates, non-stock savings and loan associates, and trust companies. Okay, governing law, functions, and nature. Then private insurance company, we have the governing law, functions, and the nature. Investment companies, governing law, definition and terms, and then types. investment houses and securities broker or dealer. So we have the governing law, functions, and nature then. Financing companies and other non-bank financial institutions. So we'll be discussing governing law pa din, definition of terms, functions, and nature. Okay, so if you notice yun yung usual na discuss natin for us to get an understanding on how these non-bank financial institutions operate, and para alam din natin yung kanilang mga limitations, ano lang yung types of services that they can offer, which the businesses or the general public can avail. Okay, so we have after that the credit cooperatives. We'll be discussing the history and the principles. And then 17, informal financial institutions, normally mga money lender lang. And then lastly, we have the international financial institutions. Okay, different countries are usually seeking the help of these financial institutions: World Bank, International Monetary Fund, and then Asian Development Bank. If you hear it from the news, the Philippines, the country is basically borrowing from these international financial institutions. Okay, so basically, yan yung mga topics that we will be discussing for the semester. And so, just wait for the additional video. So we'll be having one video per topic, and just check the playlist on the channel, banking and financial institutions. So that's it for this video. Thanks and bye.